Hey everyone, thanks so much for stopping in for another energy Q&A from Instagram. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I'm super stoked to see what they are. I have no idea, so it should be fun as we go through them. And if I don't get to your question, I'm sorry, I'll do my best, and I'm gonna be doing more of these, so please resubmit for next time. But without further ado, let's get started on our first question. So first question. How to start exercise for a beginner to achieve fitness. So the best advice I can give for a beginner is to do what's manageable. So if you are not working out at all, I would say maybe start incorporating 2 or 3 workouts a week. So not doing anything crazy, not 6-7 days like some of us are. Not right now, I wish. But so doing what's manageable, and start with shorter time periods. So maybe start with half an hour or 20 minutes or 45 minutes so that you can incorporate it into your schedule and enjoy it. Not feeling like you're rushing through it, not feeling like it's hanging over your head. You want to enjoy this time. This is time that you get to connect with your body and to improve yourself and make yourself feel better. And you always feel better afterward. So like I said, 2 or 3 times a week with your exercise, and also start small, or start with body weight. Start with going for walks. Start with exercises that you can find on YouTube. Follow along with workouts on YouTube. That way you can pause, rewind, stop, whatever you need to do. And then you'll gain experience and confidence as well. So there's a lot of really great trainers out there online that have workouts and things that you can follow that are a great stepping stone to the actual gym, because the gym can be intimidating. So getting your bearings at home with, a few dumbbells, or if you don't have dumbbells at home, grabbing some water bottles or cans of food or bags of rice, things that you can use for weights once you've kind of mastered the body weight workouts or exercises. That's a great way to progress. And then, getting into the gym, using more of the machines, the cables, the barbells. That stuff can kind of come later, but focus on the foundation exercises as well. So like the push-up, the squat, the deadlift, the row, things that you're going to be using in essentially every workout. All right, next question. That was a good one. How do we begin with the HRT process? So the hormone replacement therapy process. So what I did, I was in contact with my doctor. I booked an appointment with my doctor, and we basically just discussed where I was at, how I was feeling with my journey. At that point, I had already established I wanted to get top surgery with my doctor. So this wasn't too far astray from the topics that we had already been talking about. So basically, we just kind of went through some questions. She just wanted to basically verify or ensure that this was a good choice for me. And, being 18 or over 18, I should say, I'm 27 now. I think that they are going to start peeling back on some of these doctors, how many need to sign off or things like that, because we should be able to make these choices for our body. So basically, once I had had this discussion with my doctor, she referred me to an endocrinologist. And after I think a few weeks or a month or so, the endocrinologist contacted me. And then from there, we discussed my testosterone microdosing therapy. And you can talk to the endocrinologist and get an idea of what kind of dosage you want and what makes the most sense for your journey. Okay, question number 3. How to find a consultant for top surgery. So honestly, I got some great help from people like you. I went online, and I think I posted it on my story and was just like, hey, if anybody knows of any surgeons that had performed their top surgery or know of anybody, please let me know. And so through that, I was contacted by followers and people that suggested surgeons that did their surgery or that they had heard of. So I had heard of Montreal was a big one. I forget the name of the hospital. And then McLean Clinic was a big one. I think that was the most popular. And then some various from the US and things like that. So I went with the McLean Clinic and had Dr. Armstrong perform my surgery. And I probably waited about 6 months or so from the approval of my top surgery to the actual date of my top surgery. And a little peek for you. Woo! Nips, nip slip. I just had a shower and I'm taking my sweet time because I get to lose the binder officially tomorrow. So I'm just kind of getting used to the feeling and put it back on soon. Next question. When did you figure out your gender? Well, if this isn't an ongoing thing, then I don't know what is. It takes time. It's taken me 27 years to kind of figure out where I'm at, and I still don't even know if this is where I'm going to stay. So right now I identify as non-binary trans masc, and I kind of went through that the last few years, just discovering more about myself, embracing my masculinity, loving it, and continuing down that path, which has led me to top surgery and led me to testosterone. But it's always been in the back of my mind. I first identified as a lesbian, but it still didn't feel like it matched for me. I felt like there was still something more, and then I began to continuously expressing my masculinity with my clothing, with getting my hair cut, with how I wanted to be seen, how I just felt. Lesbian wasn't it. And I knew that I liked women, but I didn't particularly see myself as a woman, and I didn't want to be seen as a woman. So being non-binary trans masc, I really enjoy because, you know, I can lean really hard to that masculine energy that really feels like me, but I still can tap into that femininity, those moments, and still embrace every part of me and not limit myself, but be everything, which I really love. So, needless to say, it's an ongoing process and it takes time, and take one day at a time, because the worst thing you can do is try to force yourself or push yourself when you're not ready. So just wait, and it comes at the right time, and you know when you know. Okay, next question. Supplements that are good and bad. I will just say what supplements I take and maybe some that I would avoid. I take protein, my protein. I take multivitamins. I cycle on and off creatine. Sometimes I'm currently not on it. And then I'll take pre-workout as well. Sometimes BCAAs if I'm feeling a little bit sluggish. I want to take it partway through my workout, give me an extra little boost. Some of them have nootropics in the pre and BCAAs, which can help with focus, which can help with energy, which can help with muscle building, which can help with all of the above. So the main three that I take are multivitamins, protein, and pre-workout. The ones that I think aren't necessary are fat burners, because fat burners are just stimulants, and they just basically send your body into the shakes, and it's never a good feeling. I just am not a fat burner person. I've taken them before and never really noticed any benefit of fat burning. I think the easiest way is just to, you know, eat healthy, drink lots of water, avoid fast food, get your workouts in, and get a good sleep, and, you know, whole foods, whole veg, lean meats, avoiding dairy except for more fermented Greek yogurts, things like that. Try not to drink too much. The gold standards of health, I think, are your best bet. But overall, protein, multivitamins, pre-workout. Next question, was it weird to adjust to seeing yourself without breasts? A fear of mine. So it was crazy when I saw myself in the mirror the first time. I was definitely nervous about just the results and how it would look, but I wasn't nervous about seeing my lack of boobs, because that was what I wanted. That was what I had been dreaming of. It's definitely a bit strange at the beginning because you're not used to it and you're just kind of like, whoa, like you gotta do a double, triple check. But it's the most euphoric feeling. I was literally felt the weight lifted off of me, and it was incredible. And that was when I was getting, you know, tape pulled off of me and my drains yanked out, and I was still so happy with how I looked, because that was the result that I always wanted since I was a kid, and to finally have that was really, really special. And I think if top surgery is something that you really want and you've wanted, then you shouldn't be afraid, because if anything, you're gonna love your body more, as what I have felt. Everyone experiences it differently, but if top surgery is something that you've been very keen on, I think that you will be very happy with the results when you see your chest for the first time. Next question, itchy and soreness levels post-op. Yeah, it was definitely itchy wearing the binder and the dressing, and if the dressing would kind of move and the binder was right against my skin, sometimes I'd find it a bit more itchy. I would find sometimes also the drain sites, when I had the drains in, I would get some soreness around those sites just because there's literally something poking into your skin. So that was a bit uncomfortable. And just, it's kind of like wearing a cast. So, you know, if you break your arm or your leg, then the skin and everything underneath just gets itchy from not moving, not being able to shed its layers. So yes, it can get a bit itchy and a bit sore, but it wasn't anything too crazy. I'm so happy though to be done with the drains. The drains are the most uncomfortable for sure. Next question. Where is somewhere you'd like to travel that you've not yet visited? There's so many. I would love to get to Australia. I would love to get to New Zealand. I'd love to get to like Vietnam, and I'd love to get to Thailand, places like that. I would love to go to Africa. I would love to, I mean, it's everywhere. Can I say everywhere? I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to South America. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to Costa Rica. I want to go everywhere. I've got the travel bug, and I've always been a traveler since I was a kid with my fam. So traveling is something I really enjoy. And if you have any more suggestions, comment below. And let's do some more questions. Okay, how did you physically prepare for top surgery? I worked out a lot, especially my upper body, because I wanted the results to look good once I had everything taken off. I wanted my chest to already be there and the foundation already laid before I got back to work. So lots of exercise. I tried to eat really well and stay lean just so that it was as easy as possible for the surgery itself. And I prepared by like buying items, just like Pedialyte mixes and ice packs and clothing like button downs and zips, things that I could have to prepare me for recovery. What else did I do physically to prepare? That's about it. Yeah, lots of workouts, lots of healthy eating, and just trying to stay lean as possible for it to make the surgery as simple and as smooth as possible by having that chest muscle there to kind of use as a map and contour my chest. Next question. Do you struggle with using public restrooms? Men's, women's, do you feel safe? That is definitely a tough transition for sure, is switching over to the men's room if you were in the women's before. Luckily, I'm at a point where I can pass, so I can go in the men's room and, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues. It is somewhere that does make me feel a bit uncomfortable, knowing that it's a small space and, you know, people are drinking, especially men start saying things to each other. It can get a bit rowdy and a little bit much when you're in the men's room. So I honestly try to just keep to myself. I'll play on my phone. I just honestly try not really to make eye contact and try to just keep to myself and not cause any sort of scene or anything, because that is somewhere that can be more dangerous, is change rooms and restrooms, because you are isolated. So if it makes you more comfortable to bring a buddy with you, do it, because feeling safe is the most important. But definitely takes some confidence, definitely takes some, as bad as it is, like external representation of masculinity and acceptance to be even under the radar in the men's change room. Next question. I'll only do a few more and then we'll save the rest for next time. Are you disappointed with any part of microdosing, such as changes not happening faster? I'm pretty content, honestly, with mine. I also know that I'm microdosing, and if I wanted to go to a higher dose, that's something I could talk to my endocrinologist about if I wanted the changes to come faster. I chose microdosing because I wanted it to be slower and over time, to see how I felt about it and if it felt right for me. So I've actually really enjoyed the process and kind of enjoyed how it's been slow, and it's kind of been one at a time, where I can, you know, notice things happening a little bit more, like my mustache coming in, or, you know, hair growing on my upper thighs, or bottom growth is another one. So it's all been my choice at the pace. So I've liked that it's been low and slow. And if I wanted to increase the rate, then I can increase my dose accordingly. But I know some people, you know, really want facial hair, or they don't want facial hair, or they're worried about their acne and things like that. So I know some people wish they could pick and choose which effects they could get, but unfortunately it's all or nothing with testosterone, and I've been really loving it. So no complaints. Next question. How did you manage to get your male shape before you were on T? Honestly, T has done very minimal for me in terms of my physique. This physique was already there before I started T. I've only been on T for about 9.5 months. So it hasn't even been a full year, but this muscle, the shape, everything was already there. I have been working out for 12 plus years consistently, at least like 5 times a week. So it's all been my own exercise, my own my own eating, and fueling my body and recovering well, getting enough sleep, and being consistent, honestly. So focusing a lot of my workouts on upper body, trying to get more of that V taper, and especially working on, you know, lats, chest, traps, back, all of those areas that are going to help give you that wider V taper, that more traditional masculine shape. Next question. Oh my gosh, Kristen White, you know. Would you rather only eat soup for the rest of your life, or have to run the beep test 10 times every day? My goodness, this is a good one. Okay. So would you rather only eat soup for the rest of your life? So you got a lot of variations with soup. That's one thing. And my girlfriend was asking me this. She's like, does cereal count as soup? Could we advocate for that? I don't know. But so soup for the rest of your life, or run the beep test 10 times a day. The beep test alone, I think, takes like half an hour, but 10 times a day. But then I get a lot more freedom of what I get to eat, and that would cross off my cardio for every day of my life, that's for sure. And at least it would get easier too. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the beep test 10 times a day, because I don't know if I could just eat soup for the rest of my life. I mean, I love soup, but the variety is the spice of life. So I'm gonna go with that answer. Good question, Kristen White, good question. Next question, do you have feeling in your chest? Yeah, I do. I have quite a bit of feeling. So I'll give you a little display right now. So I can feel this completely normal up here. Once I start getting closer to the nip, it feels a bit more numb. I can still feel that, but I can just tell there's some numbness there. And underneath here, I can definitely feel numbness. And same on this side. So I can feel this. I can feel in between. It starts getting a little bit numb here. And underneath, again, quite numb, but I can feel this. So basically this area I have feeling, but right around the nip is where it's still a bit numb. And I don't know about anyone else, but I kind of thought at the beginning that that would subside once kind of the anesthesia subsided, but it makes sense that, you know, all the nerves are reconnecting, and sometimes when you get those shooting pains to your nips, that's those nerves reforming. So, and bringing that feeling back to the skin and to the muscles and surrounding area. Next and final question. Any tips on how to minimize leg and hip fat pre-T? So fat, unfortunately, can't be spot reduced. Can't be spot reduced, so fat typically comes off of everywhere, and it comes off of where it's most concentrated. So if, you know, you continue to exercise and eat well, then it will come off from everywhere. Typically, the areas that it's gonna take the longest to come off of are the midsection, because that's where we carry a lot of our weight, and especially if you are an AFAB, so assigned female at birth, normally you carry a lot of that weight around the hips and midsection for motherhood purposes. But in terms of trying to minimize fat is honestly just increasing your exercise perhaps. So maybe if you're working out 3 times a week, up it to 4, and stay away from just cardio. Get those weights going, because the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism and the more calories you're burning all the time. So keep building that muscle, because the more muscle you build, the more the muscle does the work for you on burning that fat. So that is huge. I always say, you know, people ask me, should I do cardio or weights? I will always tell you weights. Cardio is really good for cardiovascular health and sweating and movement, getting those steps in. But in terms of weight loss and building your physique to the way you want it, weights are your best bet. So you can do leg exercises, hip, all those types of moves, squats, deadlifts, but really getting your full body moving and making sure that you're eating right is going to be a huge part of it, because they say abs are made in the kitchen, and I would say with your body type, like 70% of what you eat is going to affect how you look. So you are what you eat. They say that for a reason, and making sure that you fuel your body properly to ensure that you have the best workout and then recover the best and then develop the best lean muscle. Hope that makes sense, and I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna finish the next set of questions on the next video, and thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you being here and giving me these funny questions. Feel free to give me more. And I appreciate answering them and going through all the different aspects of fitness and transitioning and life and food and all the above. So have a great rest of your day. Check out Gymshark and see you next time.